What's the hardest thing about my job? Oh, goodness.
I don't like getting up when it's dark.
I think the biggest challenge as a DP in life is balancing work-life balance.
People coming into the industry, I think they have to be aware of that. Like, you know, in terms of having a social life, it's not great. Family, it's not great because the commitment required.
Trying to figure out how to have this career and also, you know, have kids who will talk to you when they're 20. That's the biggest challenge.
I mean, I've just come off a 96-day shoot and I've been working 6-day weeks. It's a commitment, both physically and mentally, it's a commitment.
Definitely something about this job that you show up in the morning and before you know it, it's time to go home because it's so absorbing.
The rest of it is all pretty joyful, really. It's a great job.
I tell people that what makes one job more difficult than another is the people that you're working with.
Because the working relationship between the people on the set is everything.
That's one of the reasons I like to work with the directors. I've had good experiences in the past.
It's not an individual effort that creates films.
Even if the aesthetic challenges are difficult, the job seems easier.
And so the more cohesive the group is, the more we have an understanding of what we're really trying to accomplish.
And it's obviously interesting to discover new directors. There are certainly some that I would love to work with, but you just never really know what you get into.
Things become very political, and that makes the job very difficult.
It's like because a lot of people say all the right things and talk the talk, but when you're on set, you know, it's kind of often like a different story. So.
If there are a lot of competing personalities trying to control the cut, it can be quite unpleasant. And it's very difficult for some of these people to achieve consensus on what they want.
Once you're in sync, then it starts to become more fun, you know, and you start to enjoy the process.
The big budget movies that I've been working on lately are really more about business than art.
Sometimes if you want to try something new, that's kind of a little bit off menu, sometimes producers can be a little bit reluctant. And so sometimes that gets a little bit kind of tricky. I've had a little bit of that. So some people like saying, oh, we've done it this way, let's keep on doing it this way. I'm like, well, there's potentially a better way.
Yes, sometimes it's getting on the set and watching all these phenomenal artists engaged in what they're doing. The director who's watching every shot and every detail and moving things around and changing the camera angles, or watching the cinematographer deal with the lighting and the camera. Everybody has a specific job. And if I've done my job well as a producer, I kind of don't have a job on the set other than to watch everybody else do what they do so well. Now, if they're not doing their job well, I guess I have to kind of come in and work with them to get to the point where everybody's working together in the way it should be.
For me, the hardest thing now is because 44 years as a DP, that part's not that hard for me, but what is hard is to get the resources.
So you have these discussions that I kind of keep coming back to about what this should all be, and you do everything you can to get on the same page with each other and make sure that you're all going in the same direction, and it all sounds quite idyllic, right? Then comes all sorts of reality and hits you in the face, you know, from you don't have enough money to do it, or you can't do the company move. Sorry, we thought we could do the company move, but actually we can't, so could you please find another one around the corner?
The hard decision, or the big decision at the beginning of any project is choosing how to shoot it.
You're the visual storyteller, you're part of the creative core of a movie, you deal with the writers, the director, the cast, the production designer, so everything is and then you deal with equipment lists. Do you really need a condor? Do you really need that light? Do you really need, et cetera, et cetera?
Beyond that, what style? You know, are we going to be handheld? Are we going to be complete opposite, very rigid frames, dolly and crane only? And there's so many different graduations in between.
The example of a car chase, Fast and Furious. I mean, how do you do that on no money? You don't. So that's for me is the hardest thing, is just to try and get the money for the resources and the crew and the time and the equipment that one needs to work at a level that is state of the art.
So the most important thing is that moment. You're reading you have to say how you can be translated from written word in visual images. If you have that idea, everything becomes much smoother. If you don't have that idea very clear, it's very hard to perform. After it becomes very easy to find reference, to study in one direction, to pick up elements, to put it all together, and presenting to the director one specific portrait, the visual image of that concept that they wrote on the script. And that is a wonderful moment. Well, but if you don't get that, I feel lost. Probably I refuse to do a movie if I don't find an idea.
There's nothing hard about it, really. I mean, it's all a gift. It's the opposite of hard.
You know, it's so fun to be a cinematographer. Of course, you know, the schedule, you know, you have to move faster and faster every day, and you have to tell a story with cameras and lighting, and you know, you have to be together with a lot of great directors.
Movies don't need to, but they can cost money. And so the fact that you can still wake up in the morning and get to say action is a gift.
It's the best job on the planet.
I work with a lot of first-time directors. I work with a lot of people who have astonishing ideas. And I never say no. I might not realize their ideas. I might not make them as perfect as they imagine, but I think our responsibility is to try. Wong Kar-wai almost every day, sometimes 3 times a day, would say, "Is that all you can do, Chris?" And I think that's the most important question. And sometimes we've been working like 20 hours straight, and it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and you say, "Yes, fucker, that's all I can do." And then sometimes you say, "You're right, maybe I should tweak this light, maybe the camera should move a little bit faster, maybe we should be tighter or closer, etc., etc." You say, "No, you're right, that's not all I can do." Those are the most important questions. You must always ask yourself, is that all you can do?